Thank you so much for the blanket. I feel warmer. I feel
Thank you.
excited.
Dude, me too. How have you been?
Good. In a little bit of pain, but I'm okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna give you little massages, little hand massages.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. That helps
But
a lot.
you and my sister both say that I suck at massages.
You
so.
do.
I'm sorry.
You do, but that's actually not the topic of the day. But in case anybody cared to know.
I suck. So,
Chelly, do you think that Harry Styles feels threatened?
I mean, first of all, he's Harry Styles. Everyone knows who he is.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
I feel like he knew. You know, going into his career, he's like, everyone's gonna use my
I don't
fame.
think so
I don't know
because
how to speak in that.
me neither. And I tried a little bit, but I suck at that accent. I don't think so because I don't know exactly what year One Direction were formed.
Teenagers.
We
I remember that.
We were teenagers, but I don't know how the media perceived fan fiction at the time. I don't think they knew anything about it, or not really anyway.
I feel that's interesting that you bring that up. I remember when One Direction was formed, they were just 5 guys that went on The Voice.
Oh my god, 5 guys. Not sponsored.
So people that aren't in like the United States are gonna be like, what the fuck?
5 Guys is like a
Burger
hamburger chain.
5 Guys, burgers and burgers. Yes.
And friendships.
So I think when he went on this with his friends, I think he thought he was going to get the fame that people get after they're on American Idol, where it's like, yeah, you're big for a bit, but that's kind of, then you can kind of do your independent stuff.
Did you watch them when they were in American Idol?
I didn't, but I remember the hype of it.
Yeah.
And
same. I feel like I wasn't there, but I was like adjacent to it.
But that
on
was
the
around,
side.
that was around the same, not the same year, but around the same time when Justin Bieber kind of blew up.
Was it?
Boy bands at that time just all like it became a huge thing again, which because it kind of died down for a bit.
It did, right? It was like a trend before our time, but then it came back.
Yep. There has always been people rewriting stories, and there's like that one saying, I forget who it was, like this one dude that said it. That's my citing. That's my citations. And this one dude had once said,
shout out to that one dude,
that every piece of art is inspired by other art.
Yeah.
So originality, although it exists, it's like we all get inspiration from something.
Even no matter how much you deviate it, it comes from something that you're aware of.
I think fan fiction didn't really start blowing up. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it really started blowing up until the Super Hulock times. Do you remember that?
Dude, it was huge.
It was big. Supernatural had like a very active like fan fiction thing.
Yeah,
Sherlock did.
They were like number 1 on AO3 for the longest time.
Dude, they were number 1 on fanfiction.net. Like that's
oh my god, shout out. It's so crazy to think about because I really don't think that, at least celebrities, I don't think that because they work so much, I'm assuming, I don't think they're aware of fan fiction. Well, back then.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Harry Styles would have been like, oh, let me just pose like this because
and
or maybe I don't know.
I feel like to an extent, because they get social media trained, I feel like to an extent you know that people are going to take it far, but then like the shipping amongst the groups started happening.
Oh dude, but you know what's weird? Maybe not weird, I don't know what word to use. I feel like I don't want to be annoying. I was never really into boy bands before K-pop.
Okay.
K-pop was kind of what introduced me to boy groups. I feel like in K-pop, that's more like pushed by management. Yeah. Like, I need you to be all over each other. The girls will eat this up. But I don't know how I guess One Direction's management would see that. I don't know.
I don't know how far it went because both you and I weren't in that fandom.
No.
At all. So I don't. but then when we finally, because I don't know if I told you this. Remember my senior year of high school? One of my friends. Oh God. We were very close, but he was like, I have a deep dark secret.
Oh
I was like,
God.
You can tell me.
I do remember this.
And it turned out he was really into reading Your Name X Harry Style fan fictions.
God.
And he was just like, I just need someone to talk to about it. And so I would read them with him. And
you're such a good friend. You're so fucking sweet.
I had no idea who Harry Styles was. So I was like, okay.
I'm trying to think that if I was like in college, or were you younger than that?
I was in high school. It was my first year
high school,
or last year of high school.
Okay, I'm trying to think that if I was in high school and somebody was like, hey, I really like Your Name, Justin Bieber, I would just be like, cool, but I don't want to read this.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
That's a no from me.
I'm too busy reading art. Inuyasha and Kagome fanfiction.
I can't.
I'm too busy. Sorry.
I'm reading literature. Okay.
I'm reading Glee fanfics. Okay.
So don't even. Oh my God! Don't even get me started with the Glee fanfics. I knew this girl too that was super into Klain. Was that their name? Their ship name?
Yeah, Klain.
It was
Blaine and
Kurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Klain. Oh my God.
And so she would send me fanfics too. And I'm over here. Dude, I was working like a 9 to 5. I was like, okay, I gotta hit the Harry Styles. I gotta hit the fucking Glee. Like,
you were hitting all of these angles.
I know.
Okay.
But I feel like
I never read any Klain fan fiction. I was really into Glee, but
I got a few.
Really?
Yeah, I got a few.
Okay.
That's so funny that we're talking about this now because I feel like yesterday I just had like a sense of nostalgia after reading the book we're about to talk about. And I was like, I wonder if the fan fiction I used to read, they're still up. So I had to go into my old fan fiction profile. I didn't remember my username. I didn't remember my password. So I was like, how the fuck do I find
Where do I start?
Yeah. So then I was like, our mutual friend, the one who was really into K-pop too.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that we must have sent each other something with our names in it. And so I looked through all of my old Facebook messages with her and I'm like, fuck, what's the name? And then I finally saw it and I'm like,
in the trenches.
I was in the trenches.
Oh
dude.
my God.
I was
But
deep
you
in
found it.
I found it.
I've had moments where same thing where I'll have nostalgia and I'll look fanfics up, but they're gone.
Yeah, no,
They're
dude, the one I wanted to read yesterday, it's just not, I don't even think the author's there anymore because I couldn't find any trace of it. So then I found this one website. I went super deep yesterday. So it was 4 a.m. I found this, I think it's still open on my computer. It was a website that was like a directory of all of the fan fiction under that trope and that ship. And
no fucking way.
It was like breaking it down like, oh, for this one, this is the little summary of it. If you're looking for somewhere this person is affectionate, the grumpy ex sunshine, that's right here. If you're looking for, and it broke it down, and I was in the trenches.
I can't believe
I was looking.
People are so nice to just like take the time out of their
doing
lives.
God's work.
No, seriously.
Dude.
They're the real angels on earth. Or like just people on Reddit who are super like meticulous about like, for example, like when I was looking into TVs, like there's people who like break things down that I didn't even think about in terms of like what I need in a TV.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
People take pride in their art, in their work. But all that being said, I think that now that boy bands are really big again.
Once again.
It's all type of boy bands now. I think that it really sucks because people go into this. I'm guessing that Harry Styles went into this wanting to do music. You know, that was his biggest thing.
Oh, we're still talking about Harry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because going back to what we were originally talking about, I think he went into this was just like, I love music, I love Friends. So he's like over here wanting to do music, but I don't think he was ready
for what was attached to that. So Charlie, do you think that us discussing another story involving Harry Styles or inspiration,
Hayes,
Hayes, yes. Do you think that this could fix your life?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yahaira.
And I'm your host, Chelly. And today we are going to be talking about a Harry Styles fan fiction turned
hold on.
book. No, what?
Apparently, it's not a fan fiction, though.
Oh, what?
I think... Okay, this is written by Robinne...
I was going to look up her name. Robinne Lee.
Robinne Lee. When I looked up whether this was a fan fiction originally, every answer I got was that it's like complicated. That I think she was just inspired by like boy bands. More specifically, Harry Styles. Mm-hmm. So I don't think she actually posted this as a your name. But I could be wrong.
Oh.
Sound off in the comments. Let me know.
Well, like... To start off with that, you sent me an article. Didn't she say that she wanted to make this story like people of color?
So I didn't. I was supposed to read that article. Oh my God, I feel bad that I didn't. Sometimes I'll send people things and I'll be like, I'll get back to this.
Okay.
From what I understood, I thought that she would write people of color or wanted to. Yeah, it wasn't getting a like traction. So that's how I understood the article.
Okay. No, I think you're right. That sucks.
Yeah.
That really sucks. Mm-hmm. And it sucks that because this is just connected to, it might be about Harry.
Maybe, possibly. Come on. Look at him.
It was so funny because, okay. This is definitely, inspired by One Direction. 1000%.
I love the message that you sent me last night about it.
One? The fact that all of the boy band like people, they have different names except for Liam.
Do you think it's because Liam is such a...
it's Liam. No, what I imagined before I watched the movie, I thought they were all going to be played by different people, but that was just going to be Liam.
It's just Liam.
This is like an alternate world where he went with them on The Voice.
He's still here. I do want to make a comment, though.
Okay.
So I don't know what you want to discuss more, the book or the movie. I feel like they're both kind of different.
They are
different vibes, honestly.
It's so funny because like one of my friends last week, she watched this movie and she sent me such a long audio note and she was so speechless. Like she was like, and she didn't want to spoil it.
Speechless, but also a long audio note.
But it's because she knew that, no, dude, it was a lot of silence. It was funny because she was just like, wow. Oh wait, hold on. I need
me.
Yeah. So she was just trying to like tell me like, how much she loved this movie and how much it like moved her. And so when I read the book, I was like, fuck. Yeah, it moved me too. And then I watched and I messaged her. I was like, yeah, that was really good. I didn't want to tell her too much. And then I watched the movie and I'm like, whoa, shit, never mind. We were both feeling different things.
So I just want to start off by saying that the way that the stories are told are very different.
Yes.
I don't think you can have a meet and greet at Coachella.
No.
I've never heard of anyone telling me, oh,
that's the unsafest thing.
Yeah.
Just be people on drugs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
In the meet and greet.
So in the book, the ex-husband, Daniel, won like a raffle or something.
No, it was an auction.
Oh, it was an auction where August Moon, the boy band, they were already on tour. And so he was going to gift the daughter, Izzy, like tickets to the tour, but also backstage passes for the meet and greet. But it was like for her and her friends and Solene, which is the main character.
The mom.
Yeah, the mom.
So just to kind of give a little bit of backstory to these characters, Solene and Daniel are divorced in the book. And it's not mentioned why, like when and why it happened. But what we know is that Daniel has moved on and he has been dating Ava. And Ava is 10 years younger than him.
Yeah.
And Solene, although she's more like, she won't really talk about it in the book. It bothers her.
You can tell it bugs her. Yeah. There were moments where, I don't know, like even when she was already talking to Hayes. And something would happen with Daniel where she would be like, well, he just ruined our marriage. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I do understand the feelings. But I don't know, like I thought she would have been like more so detached of that because he was so moved on, and I think he had been moved on for a while.
Yeah.
Daniel, I mean.
He had. In the book too, it's very different, the relationship that Daniel and Solene have.
Yeah.
It's not caring at all. It's very distant, but also like they're both there for the daughter, so they're willing to.
But I felt like book Daniel was way more supportive.
You think so?
Maybe supportive isn't the right word because he was kind of like rude. But I remember there was a scene where he was like, I wish you would have just told me. I wish you would have just opened up.
I think with book Daniel, this divorce was very like a mutual thing. So it's not like, because it did mention
cheating, yeah.
It wasn't, because I feel like when people get a divorce and it's mutual, it's not that you don't love the person, it's that you don't love them to the capacity that you did before.
Yeah, like things are different and you can't get back to where you were before. But again, so Daniel was very different because in the fucking movie, he was like a bitch.
Yeah, he
even
was.
his I don't know if Ava and him were married. I don't know.
They were together though.
Okay, I think they were just like together for a while. So basically he ended up cheating on Solene with Ava, who was the secretary
in the movie.
And I kind of hate that in the movie they don't emphasize the age difference. Like they say it like once, but I like that in the book it's kind of making like a commentary on, oh, so you have a problem with the age gap between Solene and Hayes. I was gonna call him Harry. But you don't have a problem with Daniel and Ava. I like that it had that aspect of it in the book, but in the movie it was kind of just like whatever.
Yeah, so that's just Solene. That's her character. So Solene, she was going to go in the book. She was gonna go on like a camp retreat to go draw and like art away.
No, that was the movie.
No, the movie she was gonna go camping, just camping.
Yeah.
But then in the book she was gonna go like to an art thing for. It was like an excursion. Yeah. So in both, it gets fucked up because Daniel just doesn't know how to follow through with his kids. And
broken promises, that bitch. But can I just say, I'm sad that they made Izzy older in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know. To me, it makes more sense why this would be a bigger deal if you're younger.
It hurt more.
Yeah, because if you're a child, you're just like, what? My mother's dating my crush? Like, you know, like, I don't know.
Because she was an 8th grader, so that makes her 13, 14. And in the movie she was 16, sophomore, so she had a few more years of school. It made it very different. When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, what does that mean for when things get wild? Like, is she gonna take it to heart like 8th grade Izzy did, or is it gonna be different? But they go to this meet and greet. In the book, it makes more sense because we've been to meet and greets like that where it's like you go, you see them perform, but they're just like not dressed up. They're just kind of doing sound check, and then you can go and take a picture with them. And when they do that, Solene sees Hayes for the first time, and he's just like, "Hey, that's me."
Hey, Hayes. So dumb.
But he's just kind of like, wow, supportive mom right here. Love that.
No, he was like, are you the older sister?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And she was like, no, I'm the mom. And he was like, my mom doesn't look like that.
Oh my God, dude. And then that part where it was like, oh fuck, how do you say it?
I just feel like some things that Hayes said made him feel so young. And he was really young. He was 20 in the book. In the movie, like 24.
Younger. He seemed younger in the movie to me.
Really?
In the book, he just seemed like a fan fiction boyfriend.
Really?
Like that, just the type of things he would say. That's a Harry Styles if I've ever seen one.
No. I'm talking about like the jokes that he would make.
Oh yeah.
Where I would read it and I'd be like, that's not funny, and it's also like weird.
Yeah.
You know? But Solene would be like, yeah.
No, he had brought up. It was so obvious that he was flirting with her because she was like, yeah, I brought my kids I brought my kid Izzy because her father got this auction stuff, whatever. And he was like, interesting, her father not your husband? Is that kind of what I'm getting out of this?
It's because she made a comment about I don't know how she addressed him. I think she addressed him as Izzy's dad. And he was like, oh, so not your husband?
Oh my god, I would have loved this book if every time she had made comments like that, he would just freak out.
I know. I like that.
Gen Z freak out.
Just like the screaming in the hand. I like that one part where she made a comment how his fans are super loud or something about the fans being real passionate when they were performing, and he gave her the advice of like, oh, just wear like earmuffs or earphones or something,
the noise
or
canceling
headphones.
ones,
Yeah. And he said next time, and she was like, next time, there's always a next time, is what he said.
Yeah,
I thought that part was cute.
but in this little meet and greet, she basically says like, hey, because he's asking her things about her. Oh, no, they're just kind of, there's like a mutual attraction, but it ends at that. And then he tells Izzy, he goes up to the girls because she's with her friends, and is like, hey, we're gonna have like a little after party. If you girls wanted to stay, it'd be so fun.
Pause right there. If a guy were to say after party, I would immediately imagine like beer, drugs.
It's funny. A little 8th grader like, oh my god,
What is going on back here?
play Mario Kart or something.
Yeah.
That's so good. Okay, but then that happens. They leave. The rest of the concert happens. Okay. I want to bring up the movie because the movie, it happens at Coachella. And at this point, Izzy is 16 and August Moon was a boy band she was into when she was 10.
So she's not really like super into them.
And they're making music, but they're kind of like,
At a lull.
yeah. So
They're not what they used to be.
but they're going for nostalgia. And at first, Izzy's very like, "Ugh, whatever, it's just.
But her friends are like excited.
Even she was singing to the songs in the car. Like she was trying to play it off, but she was excited. And so when they're doing the meet and greet, the signing, or no, before the meet and greet, the mom is walking around. And it's funny because she goes to like this little sitting area.
No, wait. Oh yeah, I fucking love that part because she's literally, it's like, I don't know why she's sitting there, but she's just sitting there, pulls out a book. I'm like, yeah, she's not like all these other girls.
Little reader there. Okay, but yeah.
I wish she would have done that when Hayes was performing. Just like pulled out the book, just like I don't give a.
But it was funny because there was a mom that was also sitting there, and she was like,
"Which was your favorite?"
No, but she was like, "So, when were you mooned?" And she was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, mooned.
Like, yeah. Which one's your favorite? Oh, I'm sorry, your daughter's favorite. And then she's like, "I'm gonna go. Where are the restrooms?" It's like, "Oh yeah, the VIP ones are over here." And totally, I guess she just has no direction. She like saw
no direction. Please. Oh, what? Oh. She's got one direction. No, so she comes out of this little tent. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
All of these fucking trailers are all just lined up in front of her. I don't understand this because where's security?
I know, dude. One security person came out and she was like, "Oh, that must be the restroom." It's like, no, these are trailers.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me because I don't think Coachella is set up like that. I don't think you could just walk in and be like, "Oh, no, you AC/DC, what are you doing here?" But
no, definitely not.
She goes in and it's a trailer. It's like a band's trailer. And she's just waiting by the door. And Hayes, the love interest, August Moon's main singer, comes out. And he's like, hi.
He's just like, hi.
And she's like, hi. Excuse me? Can I?
Do you mind? Some of us have to use the bathroom.
People these days. And so then she goes to the restroom, comes out, and he's just sitting in like the couch area.
Yeah, eating an apple.
And she's like, so are you one of those like weirdos, like the ASMR ones that like to listen to people pee? Because that's disgusting. And she's like about to go off on him, and it's like, this is my trailer. I'm one of the I am August Moon.
You know August Moon?
August up there? That's me. That's me.
I fucking love that it's just so easy. It's just, you just have to pretend like you don't fucking know them. And they're like, wait, I've never met anyone like you.
But it was so funny because like he was so, at this point, he felt very young to me because he was just like, we got drinks, like there's soda, there's kombucha, it's kind of like salad. There's this, and then
it's because he knew that she was older, so he was like, she doesn't know what kombucha is.
No, but it was funny because someone came in and was like, "Do you need help getting dressed? Like, you need some help with your butt." He's wearing like the Skechers, the Velcro ones. I got it, Jody. Gotta. It's fine.
Okay, you know what? You have a point. I literally didn't even think about that. I took that more so as I'm pretty sure artists have very little freedom to do anything. So that's why she was like, do you need help getting dressed? Because here's your fucking outfit.
Yeah. No, I took it as just like he's big baby. And I'm like,
big baby. Big diaper.
But then Coachella happens. And the biggest difference is that when he's performing, he decides to perform a love song.
Oh my God. Okay, so basically what happens is they're performing and they start singing a song, and then he's like, wait guys, cut the music, dead ass. And then they all just like huddle up, all the August Moon boys, you know, they just huddle up, just whispering. He comes out, he's like, okay guys, we were gonna sing this other song, but I met someone special.
But on God, I met someone.
On God.
No cap. Like someone's literally goated in the fucking audience right now.
And I could definitely see her in this sea of people. So yeah, then he performs like this like love song.
Like, I think it's really funny the age difference though, because he is a Gen Zer. No, not is he? Yeah, he would be making those jokes.
Yeah.
Had it been this time.
Yeah, had it been like for this time.
On
yeah.
God.
On
Yeah.
God. Cap.
Okay, so
I mean, no cap.
No cap. Sorry,
All cap.
No cap. So then he performs it, and I don't remember when it happens. I think it's when they're doing the signing. Lizzie's or Izzy's friends bring up like, hey, my mom owns an art thing if you want to go see it in Los Angeles.
Yeah, because basically what Solene does is she is like an art person. Like she,
but in the book it was her and her friend that made the art thing, but in the movie it's just her. So
basically, she just sells art. She's an art girly.
What I appreciated about the first, like the book, I don't think he goes and buys art the first time. I think he literally goes and is like, hey.
He just goes to see her.
Hey.
He shows up at her work. Like every normal man should do.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey girl, you remember me? August Moon. Remember August Moon? I'm not August though. I'm Hayes. And she's just like, yeah, I remember you. What the hell are you doing here?
And he's like, I just want lunch. Just lunch. Oh, and then it was cute because in the book it was like, can we meet up right now? And she's like, no, I'm literally working. What about after? No, I have like Jimmy Kimmel, you know?
Like, she was booked basically. And he was like, okay, but like tomorrow I can't because I have this. And so he tells her, can you meet me
at lunch tomorrow?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, we just sold this big art thing. I should treat myself. So yes, just lunch. And they're like, yep.
But isn't it in like a restaurant that's like in a hotel or something?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So that's set up. But in the movie, I thought it was so funny because he walks in there and he's like, I need art. Like, I have a new place, a new pad, if you will.
I have a new pad and like no fucking art.
No fucking art. Yeah, there was no art in there. And like, I just kind of want to spice it up a little bit. So one of everything, please.
No, he literally bought everything.
And it was funny because she got really mad. And she was like, you're buying this art that people have put their heart, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears by BTS into, and you're just like buying it like it's apples. And he's like, first of all, you've never seen me buy fucking apples. That's really fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
Be fucking for real. Like,
stop with the fucking Gen Z jokes.
I know. So then she's just like,
he's like, buying apples is the hardest decisions I ever have to make.
Yeah, you don't know what it's like at the Whole Foods. Hell no.
But anyway, yeah, so he buys all of the art and she's a little bit offended, but then don't they like doesn't he tell her, do you have any more?
Because you just bought everything.
My pad is huge.
Yeah. This is enough for the entrance. But then she's like, well, you just bought everything. And he was like, oh, and that's really rude of me. I literally just, oh, I see. Like, he's connecting and he's like, well, I still want to talk to you. Like, I still want you to show me more. And she's like, well, there's a warehouse in Glendale. Like, I could go there.
I fucking
love Glendale. My favorite thing is the gas station.
Glendale.
So they go to Glendale, and it's very telling because when they go in her car, he puts the seat down. Dude, I was so scared that he was doing that because he was like misreading the situation. Like I thought he just wanted
Oh my god, really?
to fuck around, and I was like, hell no.
I had no thoughts, but I didn't think that.
I did, but then it was just because the
outside of the art
paparazzi
place, well, yeah, it was full of paparazzi or like fans or whatever.
Yeah, but then they pass by, they go, and they're very attracted to each other. But there's a similarity in both of them. It happens at different times, but they talk about this one painting that Solene really likes, and it's it was painted by one of her friends, and it's just like in the movie, it's like a nature thing.
Yeah,
but
it looks like just trees.
But then it's outlined in very like vibrant colors, and it's Solene, when talking about it with Hayes, she's like, this makes me feel everything. And she just really, really likes this painting. And he's just like, oh, okay, good to know. But in the movie, they say like no one's willing, like she's not willing to sell it. Like it's just, yeah.
So she has a piece that she's not willing to sell because it makes her feel everything.
So then Hayes, in the movie, they end up going to her house to eat lunch because it's more private. But they kiss.
Fucking sandwich.
Oh, dude.
So they kiss because he's like playing a song for her, and she's like, oh my god, keep playing. Wait, can I just say, in the book, I was cracking up. I couldn't fucking believe that Solene would literally think, oh, he's just in a boy band. Oh, it's just a little boy band.
Just a little boy band.
Because he would like talk highly about his job. Because of course, he's proud of his work. He like writes his own songs, and he would be like, "Oh, maybe we'll be as big as the Beatles." And she's like, "Yeah,
the Beatles,
definitely not." I thought that part was so sad.
Well, I think she valued his work more in the movie, which I am appreciative of, because that kind of bothered me in the book, how little she valued what he did. But then how much he valued her work.
Yeah.
And then for her to like not value his, it's like it kind of goes against the type of character that you're trying to portray this character to be.
Yeah.
But
did we ever say her age?
She is 39 going on 40.
Yeah, but in the movie she turns 40 like right after they meet.
Good for her. The big 4-0. I love it. God. That's peak.
Oh my god. I'm terrified.
But okay, so in both of them, I don't want to keep jumping back and forth, but this is basically the same. They both have this relationship where they meet, they like fool around, and then she goes home. And then it's like following every tour place he goes to.
But in the book, I feel like she was very reluctant in the beginning. Like, she really did not want to, because she kept thinking, oh, this is so, like, what would people say, right?
Yeah.
Because she's almost 40, or 40, I think, at this point. And in the book, he's only 20. So I think it's, like, crazier in the book.
It hits her more in the book. A lot more. And,
but she doesn't. Like, she follows his tour dates, but she's not involved in the tour at all.
No.
In the book. She just meets him in different states.
I thought it was kind of funny, because in the book, it made me feel, and even in the movie, I'm like, you are a celebrity. Like, you're a star, right? Like, how is it that you're going everywhere without your group? Because it just always seemed like Hayes just had time. And I'm like, whoa.
I guess he doesn't. Off season.
Because even in the book, it was like, I saw you, and then 3 weeks later, I see you again. And it was very big on, like, there's big time spans of when I don't see you.
Well, I feel like in the book, she had to be the one to go, like, meet him, because he was busier than her. I mean, she would have her, like, clients, because remember, in the book, he didn't buy her out. So she would have, like, clients, and then when she would have free time, then okay, fine, then she would go meet him at a different state or whatever. And I think it was easier for her to get away with it, because Izzy, who was like 13, she would be like bouncing between Solene and the dad, Daniel.
And also, she had also went to camp, but not for a whole summer.
Yeah,
it was like for a week.
It was something else.
But yeah, it was. In the book, she was more reluctant, and I think the first time they fool around, she has like a whole freak out, like, oh my god, what I do? I could be your mom. Like, this is crazy. Yeah,
he just goes down on her, and that was it for the first time.
Yeah,
and she was like freaking out. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts? Let's pause for a second.
Okay, so I think that age gap relationships are personally not for me.
Yeah, they're not for me.
Because I think about my mentality at 20. Mm-hmm. If I was dating someone who was 40, mm-hmm. I think you would not let me.
No, I would, girl. I would lock you up. I think about us as that age too, but I also think about like my brother and your cousin. You know?
Oh, okay.
Like, I think about them, and I think about, like, what would I do if, like, a 40-year-old, or it doesn't have to be 40.
No, but I get what you mean. Like, the mentality that your brother's in right now and the mentality that my cousin's in right now.
Yeah, like, they are not ready for this serious relationship.
No, no, yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. You're right. I don't know. I think I would, and then even now, like, if I reached 40,
if you will reach 40,
when I reach, I'm gonna live to be 140. So
thank you.
when I'm 40, if I was in a relationship with a 20-year-old, I don't even think I know it would be bad because I don't even think I'd be able to admit that to you.
Yeah, no,
that'd be so hard. I'm like,
I don't think. Oh my god! In the book, was it the book or the movie where she told her friend in both, but wasn't her friend like super supportive
in the movie?
In the movie, right? But in the book, she wasn't?
She was just kind of like, well, it's not serious. You're just fooling around, right? I'm glad you're fooling around, but just remember, you can't, this isn't something you can keep.
But
it was such a bigger deal, too, in the book, too, because Hayes was Izzy's favorite in the book.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't he? Because she was just like, I love him. He's everything. And she had, like, posters of him in the room. Like, she was super into him. In the movie, she was into Rory.
I thought, okay, I could have sworn it was somebody else, but
that was like either way the big thing, because it was like, how do you break to a kid who's currently into this group that hey, I'm dating that one? So that's mine. Is
that right there? Mine. How would you feel? How would you feel if your mother started dating Dio from EXO?
Remember when I went to a concert with my mom? Happy Mother's Day. When I went to a concert with my mom to go see Espinosa Paz.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
So he's like a really big Hispanic musician. I don't know if he's big anymore, but he was a few years
My mom
back.
was really into him too.
So there was an event where he came, and it was like a little thing, and we were dancing, so we were like near the front, and then he was like, todas las solteras, levanta las manos. Like, all the single ladies, put your hands up. And my mom raised her hand up. And I just looked at her and I was like, Mom.
And she's like,
because she was like, let me have this. Shut up. And she wasn't even dancing anymore. She was just like,
hand up, serious. Like,
this one.
Making eye contact.
She was ready to risk it all. And honestly, I respect.
At that age, though, did you respect it?
No, because then.
You got scared.
Exactly. So my mom at that age, she was 50. Mm-hmm. And what is Espinosa Paz, like 20?
I don't know their ages.
They would have had an idea of you. They would have. That's crazy. No, but like, to me, that's like a silly thing. Because in my mind, I can't even perceive that ever.
That possibility.
If my mom would have been up there, I know for a fact she would have done the mom hands, when they put them together. Hola, Espinosa. Oh,
hi.
Big fan.
Love you.
But it's like not a conceivable thing to me. And I know that age gap relationships exist, but I don't really like, this is kind of a controversial opinion to people who are age gap is okay for you. For me, it's like that saying that you're mature for your age.
Oh my God.
I don't like it. It's so, and I guess it's because my profession too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm in a profession where I have to protect kids from that.
Yeah.
So if I was for that, it's just kind of like I'm going against what I'm preaching.
Yeah.
So to me, age gaps, it's really hard for me to back them up if I don't agree with it, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then I guess there are age gaps where like the relationship works and great, but it's just like you're in different points in your life. Mm-hmm. And if
I just feel like, not to be morbid, but like I would just be so consumed with the idea of death. Like, I don't know, like I would just be thinking, oh my God, you've lived longer.
Dude, it like even will fuck me up now. If I'm with someone who is near my age, that's still like an idea that would fuck me up. So if I was someone who, like, if I was with someone who's 20 years older than me and they coughed weird, I'd be like,
hospital right now.
Let's go. So I can't imagine it. And mostly if it's someone younger, like 20 years old, to me,
that's a child.
That's a child.
Yeah. To a 40-year-old, yeah.
Oh, gosh. So I just don't. I couldn't.
Yeah, because I mean, I just think about what the hell do you have to talk about? Like, what do you have in common? Not to go off the rails on, you know, the art that is the idea of you, but
because it, like you said, it is a commentary on like age gap relationships and how they're viewed differently with men and women. But I agree with you, because even in the book, although Hayes was willing to do the research in the things she loved so they can talk about it, I wouldn't just want to talk about my job. Like, there's so many layers to a person, and he's over here like, you're like a flower and I unclosed you. Like, that was
no, that you bloomed, or
it was unclosed, wasn't it? It was like a weird word, and I was like, that's not a word, Hayes, first of all.
I think actually I think you're right, it was like unclosed, something weird.
But I'm thinking, like, yeah, that's what you're saying. You don't know anything about her. Like, you don't know how she was in college. You haven't asked her about how she was in school, her life being a mother. Like, you don't know much about her. And honestly, she doesn't know much about you. Every time they're with each other, it really is just sex.
Yeah. Literally. In the book, it was just sex for a long time. And there's this one part that I want to read that I highlighted it because I was like, this is literally why I don't think this is something you should like strive for, you know, like in my personal opinion. Do you, I guess, do whatever you want. But she tells Hayes, look, you have a Saint Tropez tan. And he says, oh, what? And she says, there's this old suntan oil, Bain de Soleil. They had these great commercials in the 80s, and I laughed suddenly. And you were not born yet. I wasn't, he said.
And you know what? There was another part that was like that, which I fucking hated, where she was kind of going off because she was freaking out again. And she was like, you were born in the 90s. And in the 90s, I was giving people blowjobs.
Oh, my God.
Like, that's disgusting. Sorry, I gotta go to church. Like, that's... No. I hated that shit.
Okay. Again, just gonna be off topic, but on topic. Do you remember, I don't know if you ever saw this one thing that came out, how all of these like major celebrities, like I don't know, I don't want to name anybody because I don't know for sure, but let's just say like someone like Shakira or someone like Jennifer Lopez,
like an A star.
Yeah, like big but also older.
Okay.
Like they would date like really young guys.
Yep.
So there was this joke that came out that said, oh, don't worry, sweetheart, if you haven't found the right one, he's probably not born yet. I was like, that is disgusting.
That is disgusting. So there was this SNL sketch where it was like, who's your second wife? And they would bring husbands on who had first wives.
Oh my God.
And so it's assumed that like, you know, your first, like the first one I think was like, your first wife is gonna die in a horrible accident. It's okay, bring out your second wife. And it's just like a lady, and it's like, oh, okay, weird concept that you know who she is. But then when it goes to other people, it'll be like, oh, you made it big in the industry, bring out your second wife. And it's a teenager, and it's like, oh. And then the last one is like, bring out your second wife, and it's this lady and she's pregnant, and he's like, okay, that's not too bad. But then it's like, oh no, it's not her, it's the baby that's in her stomach. Like, it just kept getting younger and younger, and everyone in the audience was like, what the fuck is going on? And it just kind of goes to show like it's gross.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like,
so it's making a commentary on how it's disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so to me, I guess, because I don't want it to seem, because we're kind of going off on this, I don't want it to seem like I hated this book, because I really, really liked this book. But just, it takes me out because of my views on it. Yeah. You know?
And I feel like the book had its like enjoyable moments. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it, like I said earlier, I appreciate that in the book you have this like conversation of like, okay, but the husband can be with someone younger. Why is it so bad that she's with someone younger? Like, I wish the movie would have expanded on that. I don't know. Like, I wish it would have mentioned that. I like that they made Hayes older in the movie. So I think
I do want to bring up a famous age gap.
Famous.
Jenna Marbles and Julian Solomita.
Oh yeah, they do have an age gap.
They have a 6-year age gap. And to me, like, they are like that's a pretty big age gap. That's a considerable one. But to me, they are similar because they how do I say this? I guess they have like a similar mindset. And to me, it's not something that would hold back a relationship. You know what I mean? Their age gap isn't going to create issues in their relationship.
I feel like when I would watch their videos, I could feel that he was younger than her. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I'm not saying it's like the worst thing ever. Like, I'm really not. Like, people make it work. And also, you don't have to be super similar to the person you're with. People make it work. Sometimes they prefer that opposites attract. That's cool. Do whatever makes you happy. But to me, this is like 20 years of a difference.
If your issue is stemming from your age, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't go past it, then you are going to be able to go past it.
Yeah.
You know? So to me, it's just like, it's not going to work.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that, on top of the age gap, was that Solene didn't really respect what Hayes does for a living. No. In my opinion, I feel...
In the book.
Yeah, in the book. In my opinion, like, reading this, I'm reading it in a way that she's like coming for him, like making fun of him in a way, right? But I think it's supposed to be funny. I don't know. Let me read you this line. She tells him, "Don't go falling in love with me, Hayes Campbell." He says, "I'm not going to fall in love with you. I'm a rock star. We don't do that." She says, "You're a boy band member." And he kind of just like smiles at it and he says, "Well, I guess all bets are off then." But I'm like, isn't she making fun of you? I don't know. That's how I took it.
I think after that too in the book, because then there's one moment like that he goes down on her and then they separate for a while and then she goes to France because he said that she needs to repay the favor, like whatever, and she's down, like it's a consensual thing. But then when she goes and gives him a blowjob, I forget what they're talking about, but then he basically says like, "Fuck, I think I might fall in love with you." And she's like, don't even say that as a joke. And he totally takes it back. He's like, "Oh, okay." But then after that, he keeps making like, "Oh, is it a bring your lover to work day? Oh, is it?" And it's like, we're not a thing. Oh, and it's a bigger thing in the book because he's sleeping around too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so it's
which I thought was so interesting.
Yep.
I did not expect him to be sleeping around, but
and I don't know how you felt about this, but she basically told him like, "We are going to wear a condom because I don't know who you're with. And until you tell me, like, or until you make the choice to stop seeing other women, then we're not anything." Like, you know, and so she was like, "I hope that you respect me enough that when you get to that point, you're willing to tell me what choice you want to make." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So then they have a moment where they're at her house and she's not wearing a condom and he says, "I made my choice." And it's supposed to like
be like, wow,
he's not sleeping with other women.
Choosing you.
He did it.
He chose me.
Wait, slay. Oh my God, period. So
oh my God. I don't think he would say that.
So it was such a big deal. But I don't know. Hayes in the book, to me, he was so infatuated with her. But then he seemed very like dishonest about a lot of things, because when he would tell her things, they were always half truths, like, "Oh yeah, about my band member Ollie, he has a sister Penelope, and they slept together when he was 14 and she was 19."
So in the book, well, maybe in the movie as well, but in the book it was really highlighted that he really likes older women.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a thing, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of also ties back into Harry Styles, because wasn't that like a big thing for him too?
That's a crime. Like 14 and 19 is a crime.
Yeah.
And to me, like, it's weird because I don't know if you noticed it too, because 14 and 19 was a big deal, and even Solene was like, "Did you
like,
ever
are you
tell the
okay?"
official?" It's like, "Oh no, it was fine. I wanted to do it. It was good." And to me, like, it's weird because I don't know how you felt about this, but then there was like the parallel of her daughter, who was an 8th grader, who had a crush on a senior. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, well, maybe just talk about yourself. And it's like,
yeah.
If my 8th, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I
oh God, we're like on a soapbox today.
Sorry, let me just bring this up. I work with 8th grade, you know? And sometimes they make little jokes like that. And I'm just like, no, you're a child. You do not even joke like that. You don't look at people like that if they are not in your age range, because you're young. And there is so much you don't know about the world. I'm not going to have you even like considering the fact that that would be a thing.
Yeah. A possibility. So, it's not. I guess it didn't really hit me that
hit me.
I didn't realize how old he was for some reason. I don't know why. Because Solene was very like whatever about it, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
She was kind of,
and she was with the whole Izzy liking a senior too. And the fact that she was like, yeah, God. Go for it. It's like, what?
Because didn't she say like, oh, you just got to be yourself?
Yeah.
I'm like, girl,
she's in 8th grade. And she was so young. She acted her age. So I was like, that's really fucked up that you're telling your kid that. I don't know. But then it goes to like,
I agree.
When they're older, that would be the same age gap that Jenna and Julian currently have.
Yeah, but it's obviously different though.
Yes.
Because that's a child. She's 14.
Exactly. And I think that's what this whole like book was trying to play, like which ones are good and which ones are bad, like
and why age gaps.
And why would you consider it a good and a bad thing for the age gaps? But
she's underage.
To me, it's just like, it's about the mindset. It's about where you're at. But then when people do the whole like, well, they're mature for their age, it's like, no, don't say that shit.
That shit gives me the ick, honestly.
I do want to say that the movie focused a lot more on just Hayes and Solene. Like it didn't really focus on the whole band aspect. It didn't really focus on any of that.
Can I say, to me in the book, I found it interesting when Hayes would like take her to like these little groupie things, parties, whatever the fuck they were. And obviously the bandmates would be with women as well. And she would notice some of these girls are really young. Yeah. She would see that. And then she would feel like she had to mother them, you know? I like that, but I wish it would have been more serious. I don't know, like it would have been taken more serious.
Well, I feel like we're going to talk a lot about the ending of the book right now. So can I just end with a movie? Like,
Yes, let's end the movie, because the movie and the book end very differently.
So in the movie, their relationship, people completely on the internet just destroy her credibility and stuff. They're calling her a disgusting mom.
Well, we're not gonna talk about the pool scene.
Oh yeah, because they were
in pool scene. Girl, I had to pause the movie. I literally screamed into my pillow. Yeah. So they in the movie, she follows Hayes and his band around and their groupies. Yeah. Through like their whole tour. Yeah. And so they're in the pool and she's talking to the groupies. And the bandmates are there too. And she starts talking about how they met, right? Yeah. And she's thinking like, oh, it was super cute. Like he met me and then he stopped the performance and performed a song just for me. And one of the girls was like, oh, closer? Because that's like a bit. Like that's a thing that they do. And then Oliver, I think it was like, oh yeah, we always pretend like it wasn't part of the show, but we do that. And so that was when they had their fight, right? She was just like,
and she ended it. And honestly, they weren't that deep in the relationship, so it wasn't really that big of a deal, but they did really care for each other.
He cared more for her because he was like, are you ashamed of me? And she was like, yeah.
I'm glad she was honest though. But even like they were over, but then the news came out that there was photos of them. Yeah. And
snuggled up.
And I forget how it goes on, but I remember them meeting up. I think it's because she talked to her friend and her friend was like, go for it. And she was like, I did feel something when we were together and I want you to know that.
And I think it helped that everybody knew now, right? Because now she didn't have anything to hide. She had never told her daughter about this relationship. And so now that Izzy found out because went viral, Izzy was upset, but she wasn't as upset compared to the book. She was kind of just like, I wish she would have told me.
It's funny because she was crying and she's like, is he at least a feminist?
Yeah. Why would you let a feminist go?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, yeah, after all of that situation, then she goes back to Hayes and she's like, I lied. I do feel something.
And their relationship works for a bit, but only because she deletes all social media and ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. But also her the front of her house is like filled with paparazzi. So
it isn't until after she sees like how it's affecting her 16-year-old daughter, she's like, I can't do this anymore. And they break it off. But in the movie, he's just like, she won't be in school in 5 years. So can you, like, I want this to work. Can you please consider this in 5 years? And she's like, yes, but you have to promise me that if there's an opportunity in your life to move forward and find happiness, you have to take it. And in the movie, 5 years pass and he goes to LA and they just kind of look at each other and so lovingly, and then it ends. The end. And I watched that. It was funny because I watched that. I was doing my makeup and I had to rewind because I was like, that didn't fucking happen. And also, I fucking hated the wig they put on. Yeah, that's 27, all right.
I love the little scruff of the beard. God.
But I watched that and I was like, this didn't hit me. It was cute.
That is so fucking funny because you and I are opposites.
Really? It did not hit me.
I felt more with the movie than I did. I think because he was older.
I'm okay with them ending up together, but to me, it was just kind of like, okay,
girl,
it's just another happy ending.
I think it's because I love Anne Hathaway and
I do too.
Nicholas
Ella Enchanted.
Giltine.
No, I love them, and I don't want you to get it twisted. Like, I do really, really like the movie, but after the emotion I felt yesterday when I finished this book,
yeah,
I was like,
you were just numb.
I was numb, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, they're just together. I felt like it was a little unrealistic to me that he seemed like he had got bigger on his own. He seemed like a soloist by the end of it.
Yeah, I think he was a solo artist.
So to me, it's just kind of weird that, first of all, no paparazzi followed him when he went the second time. And then also he's just kind of like, we're cool now. Your daughter, she's, what is she, like 20? She just doesn't exist anymore. It's on her. Fucking on her. Like, what difference does that make now? It's the same thing because people are going to be like, oh, isn't that the same girl? Wow.
Because she's in college now. I know. Right? So
yeah.
I feel like I kind of get what it was trying to do. But I don't know. 5 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
For you to wait
so he
for
was
somebody.
24 when they first met? So then he was 29. Okay, I'm chill.
She's 40. She's 45.
45 is just a number.
At 45.
Round down, that's 40. Up. Round a little more down, that's 30.
Round down? Yeah. You would round up because it's 45.
45, 29. Well, what if I came up to you and I'm like, I met this 45-year-old. He's a singer.
He's a singer? Oh my God. Does he have tattoos?
Dude, everything. He's Harry Styles.
Oh my God.
But 45. I don't know how old Harry Styles is. He's just perpetually 20 to me.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, you're older, so I feel like you could do whatever you want.
No, but I would be the August moon in that situation. So I would be the younger, and then whoa, crazy. But then I feel like the mindsets match more at that point. Because you've lived your 20s.
Your frontal lobe is developed. You're good.
My brain, rock solid. All wrinkly and shit. So, like, I feel more, okay, that makes sense. But to me, it's just
20s, I feel like you're still finding yourself, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why the ending of the movie just didn't. I guess it's because it wasn't as realistic to me as the end of the book was. But I also, just to let you know, I feel very strongly about the end of the book, like kind of like gray line, I guess.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to hear this.
So I do want to bring up, the book had that whole thing where he had slept with Penelope when he was 14 and she was 19.
Penelope is the sister of one of the bandmates.
And that bandmate apparently also had a thing for Hayes.
So I feel like it's interesting that they had a conversation in the book where there's like no boundaries between these like band members. Like there would be moments where Solene would be in the room with Hayes, or Hayes was in the shower or something, and then Oliver would just fucking walk in. Like no knocking or anything. He would just bust in the room. He's like, "Oh, you're here."
And she noticed it. She was like, "This is different." How he just walked in. But then he would start kind of like hitting on her, and
he would be like, "Oh, you're still with him?"
Yeah.
I could show you a better
And
time.
when she finally told Hayes, there was like a moment right before the band went on where Ollie basically was like, "I know what you did with my sister. Like you don't like sharing, you don't like that." And then Hayes makes a comment like, "You're just unhappy because I didn't want to do what you wanted to do." And it kind of insinuates that Ollie had a thing for Hayes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I appreciate that Hayes was like afterwards was talking to Solene and was like, "That's not my story to tell." Because I left a comment like, "You basically just hold the whole room.
Yeah.
So you can't just take it back now. You came out for him." So
yeah. I mean, yeah. I appreciate that he didn't outright say it, but he did say it. But whatever. Okay, he tried.
But like, there's a lot going on. There's that situation, and then there was one situation with, they were in the hotel room, and you hear a girl crying in the hallway.
Oh my God, yes.
And
is that near the end?
This is like a halfway point. So Solene goes to the hallway, and she sees a 16-year-old. And she's just like complete mom mode. Like, what's going on? What's happening? Do you need something? Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Can I just charge my phone? Like, I'm trying to get to Rory."
She was basically in the room with Rory? Or
no, she was knocking for Rory. But then Solene was like, "But this is Liam's room."
Yeah.
And then she was just, the girl didn't want to say anything. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Okay, hold on." And so she goes inside. She connects the phone for the girl. And Hayes is like, "Just send her away. Like, just, it's not our issue. Mm-hmm. So just send her away." And then she's like, "That's a 16-year-old. That's someone's daughter."
Yeah.
And then he says, "Well, do what you have to do, but don't have her in here because I can't have a teenage girl's DNA in my class, Whoa, in my
vicinity,
in my hotel room." And she's completely like, "What the fuck? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. And
so she goes outside. And she immediately like, "You need to tell me the truth. How old are you?" It's like, "Well, I'm 16. It's like, "How old did you say you were?" "Oh, I said I was 18. And so she's just like, "You know what? Like, I'm not going to judge you for anything, but do you need to go to the hospital?" She's like, "No, I don't think so." It's like, "Well, this is the time you need to go." So, "Do you need to go?" It's like, "No." "Okay, well, let me get you." It was like cab fare. And then Hayes ended up calling the front desk and they were going to get her like a courtesy car, whatever. And so then after that, the group is all sitting together and Solene is like, "That was a 16-year-old that you guys fucked around with. Mm-hmm. And I trusted you with my daughter, not like a few days before." It's like, "Well, yeah, I would never do that to your daughter." And it's like,
okay,
but look at what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. And she was really upset, and Hayes kind of pulled her to the side and was like, "There was a situation in Japan where we were with these people, and one of the ladies was with me, and I was like, 'Thanks so much, but I got an early call, so if you could please go.'" Mm-hmm. And she took off all her clothes and stood at the rail of the hotel, and he basically had to like convince, because he couldn't call or make a bigger situation because he was scared she was gonna jump. Uh-huh. And so he ended up telling her to come into bed with him, and he just hugged her until his security guard got there and got rid of her. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, "Yeah, that's what my life is like." Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really interesting because I think that to me would have been my turning point where, like, yes, our age gap, we're very different, but even our lives are very different. Because to me, and I think to Solene too, had I gone through that and had I had children or worked with children, I think that would have had me more inclined to like check on if they're okay. But to Hayes, who's a celebrity, that was I can't get too close. Uh-huh. And it's crazy because they're two different people in the way they handle situations.
Yeah. They really didn't have much in common, huh?
No, it was just sex. Uh-huh. It was, but I was fucking there for that shit. And I was there for it because a part of me wanted it to work. Because I really liked that this character who went through a divorce, never thought of themselves, was finally doing something for themselves. And I thought that was a beautiful thing because it kind of shows like very like womanhood. Like you do what makes you happy. And
well, even Anne Hathaway, when she talks about this book, she talks about it as like a woman's like sexual awakening,
which is great.
Yeah, that's
a great thing. But I just think that in the book, it really pushed more the fact that like, how do I say this? You can't you can't will something into existence just with love. I do think that is like a really big thing. Love is a very important thing, but you do also have to realize that it's not just you and the other person. There's the world. There's like so many things. And if you're a mother, there's your children you have to consider. Because when you become a mother, it's not just about you anymore, sadly. But like, to me, it's like,
do you think
a lot?
Do you think that they wanted to put like love above everything else? But I mean, even in the beginning, it's not like it was love in the beginning.
No. I do think that's kind of what it became, but it's that like, I don't want it to seem like I'm like anti-love, but I what I'm trying to push is like, at the end of the day, there's so many other factors to consider.
Some people do prioritize love though. I remember there was this one time when I was in school, doesn't matter what grade, but we would always start the day with like a question to debate, right?
Yeah.
And there was this one question that was like, say you love someone, like they're perfect for you 100%, nothing is wrong with this person, but your family doesn't like this person for you. Would you still marry this person? And you know, the class was very divided. Well, I feel like most people were saying love, right? Just choose love.
Wow.
But there were those people that were saying, well, like it's love now, but eventually like you have to involve your family in this life that you're building.
And it's crazy to me because like every family situation is different, but I'm very close to my family. And I feel like if I was in a situation like that, I think I would choose my family. But I don't know, because you know, I haven't met someone like that, so who knows? Maybe like next week I'll be like, fuck them. I never liked them anyway.
You were like, you know what? Choose love, guys. Choose love.
But to me, like, I can't see myself choosing the love of part of my life over the people that I have loved my whole life. And I think that's what Solene did. She chose her kid, who she has loved for that kid's whole life, over someone that she loved for a few months.
Yeah.
And I don't put her down for that. Like, I'm glad she did what she did, and I feel sad for her because I wish that it could have worked. But at the end of the day, she was realistic in the sense that like, I don't want to fuck up my daughter's life just because I want to be with someone. And I'm sorry.
And I feel like it would have been, I don't know, because I do think the ending was sad, but I feel like it would have been even more heartbreaking had they actually had more in common. Like even just like life perspectives, you know, just.
I felt like they had more in common. Or not more in common. I guess I felt more chemistry in the movie, even though they didn't really talk much about their childhoods. Because there was just like the way that they interacted. Yeah. But the way that they interacted in the book was always sex. It was all. And then how would have you felt if you knew that the person you were going to end up with, the first comment they made was like, oh yeah, I want to fuck that mouth.
That part made me so uncomfortable because Solene basically told Hayes, oh, I remember when I first saw you and I thought that's the face I want to sit on. And I thought that was so weird because, so you're saying that it immediately started with lust?
Yeah.
I thought I'm so confused.
But then they were totally okay with it because she felt the same way. Like she also was lustful the first time.
Yeah.
You know what part I fucking hated?
What part?
The part in the book where Izzy took off her braces and Hayes saw her without her braces and was like, that's your mouth.
Yeah.
And then in the book, and it's funny because the book would break up sections, and then when there was like a new section break, it was like time had passed. It was one paragraph where he had said that, looked at Solene, And then the last sentence was like, and we never mentioned it again. It's like, that's...
Yeah, I remember reading that and thinking that's really weird. Such a weird thing to say.
So to me, like, I felt like age gap, who knows? Maybe there's a book out there where I'm gonna be, because we read Birthday Girl and I was super into that shit.
I wasn't into that,
but I was into that shit more so because, and we'll talk about this in later episodes because there's something I want to talk about with you that we talked about for the beginning of our episodes. But the separation of like literature and entertainment versus real life.
Yeah.
You know, so in literature and entertainment, I enjoy this book, but in real life, I wouldn't want this for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing when we read dark romance. Like, we could enjoy it, but not actually want that in real life.
Yep.
How did you feel about the way the book ended?
I cried a lot.
Really?
Dude, I was
so confused. I couldn't believe that was the ending.
No, neither could I. So, like, okay. I think I started crying at one specific line.
Oh, God. I thought the last line was really sad. So I don't know what line.
Shit. I'm not even there.
Oh, God. You're like 100 pages before the end.
No, literally. I think it was 100 pages before the end. I think the thing that really got me was like 2/3 into this book. And it was the first time he confesses, because it's literally just them at her workplace, and she's over here just making jokes at his expense, and he's like, whatever, I'm fucking leaving, have a good day, love you, goodbye. And she turns and she's like, what did you say? And he's like, nothing, I didn't say anything, fuck, I didn't say that, goodbye. And he leaves. And it just really hit me because he's 20 and she's 40.
Yeah.
And she's over here kind of like, it's not that big a deal. And it's like, this kid is so devoted to you. And the fact that you're so flippant on this relationship, and he's over here like fucking beck and call, like he will drop shit for you. And you're not even willing to do that for him. And then when she finally confesses, I was like, fucking finally, this is what I wanted. And like, I was happy because like she even said it, like, the reason I held on to it so long was because I wanted to make sure I was in love with you and not the idea of you. Yeah. But then by the end of it, she is just kind of like, she sees how much it's affecting her daughter, because she's an 8th grader and people are being super gross at school and everything like that. And she ends up choosing her daughter. And when they break up, there's like a situation where she gets a lot of hate online and she just wants to turn the world off. And she like turns off her phone for a day. But then he like apparently had sent her several messages. She calls him and he's like, don't you ever fucking do that. I was so scared that you had done something. And by that point, I think it's already over. So they meet up one last time. No, it's over phone call, I think. Yeah. They were supposed to meet at France. And she was like, I can't choose this over my family. And he's like crying on the phone. He's like, please don't do this to me. I'm literally in France. Like, I'm so far away from you. I can't do this. Don't end things on the phone with me. I want us to talk about it. So when she goes to his house, or when he goes to her house, he's just kind of like, I quit the band. Yeah. So he's willing to change his whole life for her. And it hurt me because they have like sex. But then afterwards, she's like, get dressed and go work. Work. Yeah. And it's so sad because he's like getting dressed while crying. And he's just like, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. She's like, you need to choose yourself. Like, you have so much in your life. You can't give this up because of me. You know, but he's like, but I want to be with you. This is all I want. And she's like, you don't know that. And so then when he leaves, the end of the book basically says every single day he sends her messages that are kind of like, my gosh, why can I not see it? I miss you. I'm thinking of you. I still love you. So but every fucking day he would send her a message. For months. But then one day they stopped long before I had stopped loving him. So he kind of moved on before her, right? Yeah. Well, I feel like it must have also been difficult for her to move on when he was texting her every day. But she didn't block him. I
I feel so bad for him.
I feel bad for both of them because, like, to me, it makes me sad. This kind of goes against what I just said, but it makes me sad because they couldn't choose themselves over anything else. But then I think if I was a mother and I saw one of my kids who was joyful and youthful and loved life turn to
hollow,
I would also choose my kid, but it would suck.
Yeah.
So.
Well, would you?
I would choose my
Izzy's
kid.
fine.
I think I would choose because, like, it's
kidding.
funny because, like, even sometimes at work, I choose, like, I'm okay with sacrificing a few hours of my life if it means the kids can do this. Okay. Like, you know, and that I know that's such a small thing compared.
But yeah, you're showing that you're still willing to.
Like, sometimes as an adult, you have to be okay with putting others first.
Yeah. Because
I don't want to take away from what they could gain in their life. And that's kind of what she did for Hayes too. It's like, I don't want to take away from your future happiness. Mm-hmm. So you should be able to experience life, you know, as a 20-year-old.
He was so young. 20. That's way too young. Do you think the ending was satisfying?
It was sad.
Was it sad? It's fine.
I think to me it just felt more realistic. Had it been an actual celebrity now, first of all, I don't think fans would react that poorly. At least I don't think so. I don't know.
I have no idea, to be honest. The world
can surprise.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. But think about it. Their scandal was a little bit different. Because
wasn't it a picture of her like being 8?
Yeah, she was 8. And so that's, you know, another layer of embarrassment on her end.
Yep. It made me sad because in this story, Solene doesn't get a happy ending for herself.
No, she doesn't.
And
does she ever date anybody else? We'll never know.
Who knows? It hurt too, the part where Izzy basically told her daughter, like, I'm sorry, I'm not strong enough.
Izzy told her daughter?
Izzy told her mom that when they were driving home. She was like crying and she's like, I know you love him and I know that he's really good to you, but I'm not strong enough.
Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck. That was so sad. Poor Izzy. I mean, she's so young.
Yeah. And I don't know, because in this story, maybe in the future, no, by the way it ended,
Well, I actually looked into it because I thought maybe there was a second book. So I looked into it and there's this, you know how on Goodreads you can ask authors questions?
Yes.
So somebody asked the author, Robinne Lee, would you ever make a sequel to The Idea of You? And this was 6 years ago. Damn. And she wrote, you know what, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, but I just want to get other books done first and then maybe revisit. Maybe. So
I wouldn't mind if they revisited.
But I feel like now with the success of the movie, I'm sure she's probably cooking something up.
Yeah. I could see it, her making a sequel now 5 years in the future. Because it still won't be easy.
No, it won't be.
But it'll have different hurdles. But then in the book, she's going to have to address a lot of shit. Like there's the Penelope thing's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Also, the bandmates, well, mostly just Oliver. Oliver's weird. Just weird towards Hayes. He's very like possessive.
Yep. I wonder how that
Oh, but he's not in the band anymore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Awkward.
Just kidding. Who cares?
Okay, at least Liam from One Direction is in August.
Oh, my God. That man could just bounce around.
What do you think you would rate this book? Book and then rate the movie.
Okay. Movie is easy because I feel like the movie, I overall enjoyed it more. To me, he didn't feel too young. I don't know. I guess when you brought up the whole like changing thing, I get why you would think he felt young. But I was just glad that they made him 24. And I like the idea of them of them waiting a couple years to see if like this is really what you want. But I don't fucking believe that Mr. August Moon himself stayed single this entire time. There's no fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
Not with that pretty face.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I think it's cute. I love how they like looked at each other at the end. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
The book? That one's hard because I feel like I did enjoy some parts of it. But then some parts were kind of cringe. Like some of the dialogue was kind of cringe to me. Didn't love that their relationship was so focused on sex. Like, yeah, you can build out some love off of that, but I just wish that it would have been a little bit more impactful. But the ending, I feel like even though it was sad, it does make sense why she would let him go. Yeah. It's almost like a sacrifice, right? Like she's just like, you know what, I'm gonna let you go. You go live your life. Mm-hmm. Which honestly just shows that she does love him. Aww. Wait. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm kind of still thinking about what I would rate the book, but I feel like I would give it like a high 2 or a 3.
Okay.
Like around there.
I think we're both similar then, because for the movie, I did enjoy it, but I guess the ending to me, it was just too convenient. You know? Yeah. Because I know Harry Styles, if he waited 5 years, people would be on his ass. Well, I just feel like people would be like very observant. Like, wait, why did you wait 5 years? That's weird. Oh, that's grooming. Because
But they didn't talk though.
I know, but you know, there's going to be issues that follow that, is what I mean. Okay. So to me, it was just kind of like, oh, it just worked out. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed the movie a lot because I really like both actors, and I just liked that it didn't have to focus on all the little things. I liked that it didn't bring up the Penelope thing because I wasn't a fan of that.
I didn't get that, to be honest, because it was like it was a big deal, but it wasn't treated like a big deal.
No. So I'm glad it didn't bring it up. Mm-hmm. Movie, I think I would give it a 4 as well. Book. So I really enjoyed reading the book, but that doesn't mean it didn't have issues. I think that I wasn't sold on the love story between Hayes and Solene. I liked it. I thought it was cute. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like Hayes was that honest of a person. There was even a situation where they crash into one of his old lovers and it looks just like Solene. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So there's like so much. And he mentions it. He's like, I have a lot of baggage. Like everyone does. So you knew it coming into it. But I guess I just didn't like the execution of certain parts. Even with him just always getting mad at her. Like, you're letting them win. You're letting the fans win. And it's like, no, you don't understand the whole situation. But the ending did hurt me a lot as well. But I guess I'm a little more okay with that ending because of, like... It's funny because, like, even though she said she loved him and not the idea of him, at the end of the day, it was just the idea of him that she liked.
Yeah.
So...
Because she didn't fight for him.
Yeah, but who knows if there's a book 2. It's going to be weird, though, because she's going to have to make a sequel of the book and not a sequel of the movie.
Yeah.
So that'll be
interesting. She changes the whole first book.
Yeah.
Rewrites it.
But that being said, I think the book, I would give it like a 3.4 out of 5.
Because you like the idea of you.
Thank you.
Wow, we talked forever about this one.
Yeah, we did. That was like 80 minutes. I don't know how many hours that is. It's Sunday. I can't do math right now.
An hour and 20.
No, it's not.
It's an hour.
Wait, is it? Oh, yeah, I was like, no, an hour's 100 minutes. So that doesn't work.
What can I say? I'm getting better at math. I'm coming for your crown.
Dude, I love that. Well, to everyone who's watching, thank you so much. Well, if you're listening to us in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars, because that helps so much. And honestly, you can be doing it right now because it takes like 2 seconds to do. Giving us 5 stars helps a lot. And if you can also just leave a review and let us know what book you want us to talk about next. Honestly, I had so much fun reading this book. So any bangers are accepted. If you want to support us and you have, and also if you want to help us be a little more well known, the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. So if you can just let people know about us, I feel like that would be great. If you want to support us and you have a little bit of money, what can they do, Yahaira?
So we do have a Patreon, and at the moment there's not a whole lot on there, but don't worry. We're
Summer's
cooking.
coming.
We're cooking things up, okay?
Yeah, we are.
Literally. No, I'm just kidding.
We're cooking.
We're frying things up.
We become the cook fix. Wait.
TM. Don't take that. Yeah, it's gonna be like bad, so that's why it needs fixing. So we're thinking about things that we could put on there, but right now our Patreon just serves as a way for our listeners to really show us that you appreciate our content. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, you can find us on Coffee, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like the video, if you can comment, let us know what you want us to read next, and subscribe, that would be great. And you can also hit that notification bell. We post every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram and Threads at the Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD, and we do have a TikTok at the Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX, and might as well follow us on Goodreads because it's popping off in there.
Oh my god, you guys have no idea how excited we get when we see that people are following our Goodreads, because what was our goal? Like 3 people?
3?
We have like 4 now. Thank you so much. We've
done it.
We feel like we've made it. We can retire now. Thank you so much.
If you want to support us on Goodreads, it is at the Book Fix. Thank you so much. So why don't we read a positive and negative review of this book?
Okay.
What do you want to read?
Whatever.
I'll read the positive.
It's written by you.
I know. This is from Corey's Corner, who gave it a 5 out of 5. They wrote, "I am definitely licking my wounds today with this book. So heartbreakingly good. Definitely a 5-star read. What I loved about this book is the reverse age gap. This is my first older woman, younger man story. Harry Styles, whom I love, is the muse in this boy band and the object of Solene's affection. Although he pursued her and at 20 years old. This book gave me butterflies and full-on feels. It was real life and just so painfully tragic, but so beautiful. Hayes Campbell stole my heart and made me squirm. He was the personification of sexy and so masculine beyond his years. The way he always said hi made me melt. I didn't want this to end, but alas, all good things must at some point."
I want to read one, but I don't want it to be the one.
Okay.
Somebody wrote, "Harry, I'm so sorry. They keep doing this to you." That's so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but the 1-star review I want to read comes from Lynn, and they wrote, "I stayed up all night reading for this. F this book. Seriously, the one time I don't read reviews and this is what I get, hours of reading, and for what? An abrupt ending. That ending ruined the entire book, mostly because I made myself put up with the fact that it was long-winded and unrealistic. But hey, it's a romance, and it's gonna have a good ending. No, it does not. It literally just ends. This book was written 3 years ago, and that's it. And that's it. Her only one. I'm a little peeved that my quote-unquote friends recommended this book to me, to be honest."
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god.
Do you think that Harry Styles can sue? Can you sue for this? Probably not, because it's not really you.
I can't imagine someone who wrote a song like Watermelon Sugar High would sue me. I can't imagine it.
Why would they sue you?
Why would they sue me?
Are you
Wait,
confessing something?
I'm kind of cooking something up. I don't know.
You're like, maybe, but not yet. I don't think you would.
Go for it, Harry. Just try. No, never mind. I never want to come for Harry.
No, man, me neither. I would be so scared.
It's like coming for Taylor Swift. That's a death sentence.